Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Nur Zulaika binti Said Mahazi and my metric number 256435. I will talk about corruption. First of all is introduction. Corruption is a crime or an offense of law in which a person obtains freedom, contract, or privilege from the authorities or a company after giving money, gift, or entertainment to such parties. In its simplest terms, corruption is an act aimed at increasing the personal gain of a person who inadvertently can do so because of the power given to him by the public or institutions. In most of the cases, detecting corruption is very difficult, more so when the act of corruption or bribery is mutually beneficial. For instance, imagine a scenario where a person or a firm makes hidden extra payments to an official in exchange for a service or a license that the former is not entitled to. In this case, neither the bribe payer nor the bribe taker has everything or material to report corruption, and therefore it is very difficult, if not impossible, to detect corruption and prove it in a court of law. Specifically, corruption classified through Transparency International is an activity that involves the abuse of power entrusted to personal gain. Next, literature review. Definition of corruption. The philosophical thinking of Jean-Jacques Rousseau once stated that the legitimacy of national civil power comes from the people. The government is a sovereign executor. The definition of abusing of public office for private gain. This definition is also most widely used by foreign sociologists on the concept of corruption, usually defined as bribery of civil servants in the states using existing powers to give bribes, intimidation, extortion, fraud, and others. But this term covers many aspects of economy, politics, culture, morals, law, and so on. Next, determination of corruption. A large number of key composite indicators which reflect various aspects of corruption reflect the general state of corruption as a whole in private grade facilities for corruption assessment and empirical research show 2020. Many scholars are use objective data to study the problem of corruption between these provinces as they achieve great results in China after study of government measures and market and regional corruption. Zhou and Zhao 2009 state using the number of corruption cases of officials in each state as an index to measure the level of corruption in the country. In addition, bureaucracy is also said to, to be an opportunity for corruption in the public sector, often because bureaucracy is considered something that slows down public management methods. Next, discussion. Research progress on the related factors of corruption. From the macro level, the level of corruption of a country should be determined by the level of politics, economy, and culture of the country. At the same time, corruption can have a detrimental effect on these three parties. Punishment not only affects the perpetrators of corruption, but also has a significant impact on the spread of corruption from a moderate point of view. System building and implementation of the level of decentralization between national agencies, recruitment, appointments, and compensation. Next is macro factor affecting the risk of corruption. The growing importance of corruption is based on the consensus that the development of the country needs give good governance. Compared with the developed countries, the poor countries are more common. Then, the main reason for the occurrence of serious corruption is the colonial countries is from the culture and political characteristics of the colonizers. Through a vacuum summary and often crosses all the time in the 18th century between the position of recognized high officials and the economic benefits through position in England. Barbarella and Malik 2007. Then, macro factors affecting the risk of corruption. When the system is built and enforced, it is an important method to increase the awareness of the parties on responsibility. Then, the main assumption is that when the political system is very clear about responsibilities as officials in the region, workers will implement good policies and can reduce corruption in. They found that the relationship between local officials, corporate R&D, investment, and corruption was significant. That is the appropriate extinction of the department time and moderate level of corruption is achieved for the promotion of R&D investment enterprises. At the time, they stated that when public sector salaries were very high, corruption and tax evasion would be eliminated. Micro factors affecting the risk of corruption. Dola et al. 2001 demonstrated a commitment to study the impact of gender on corruption in the long run. The more women in government officials, the lower the level of corruption. Areas with lower levels of corruption will limit male-dominated social networks and provide more possibilities for women to get jobs. Soon 2003, they found that the difference between men and women stems from the experience of asymmetry between men and women, not its basic nature. Shows from social control theory that people in dominant social status consider themselves to be in a superior position. Last is conclusion. In conclusion, we find that when there is an increase in corruption, it will indirectly lead a decline in the economic growth of Malaysia's GDP. The implications of these policies should be practiced by countries where the effects of corruption reduce economic growth. Among the implications that can be done by reforming the political arena for political malpractice and eliminating the opportunity to engage in corrupt activities. Address corruption systematically by paying attention to specific sectors through the involvement of all stakeholders. Further, improve the law on whistleblowers to provide greater protection to those who seek to provide information on the involvement of certain parties in corruption. That's all for me. Thank you.